Sai Ram Ganeshan Bhagavan Tumhara naam Sai Ram Ganeshan Bhagavan Tumhara naam तुम बिन कोई नहीं रखवाले तुम बिन कोई नहीं रखवाले भगवान तुम्हारा नाम साई राम तुम्हारा नाम साई राम तुम्हारा नाम
Vanakkam, Namaste, and a very good morning to one and all, family, friends, and loved ones. Ladies and gentlemen, I must humbly apologize for the short or the late start. We had to wait for Sari and her entourage to make their appearance. So we apologize. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today is indeed a momentous occasion in that it's the 1 year ceremony of the passing away of Judy. This morning's proceedings will include prayer, devotional songs, and speeches by her loved ones. And through the proceedings, I will be dotting this morning with little pockets of speeches that have been given to me by her loved ones. It is now my pleasure to hand you over to Vincent and his group.
वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवाय सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवाय सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवाय सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा ॐ शान्ति 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 உலகெல்லாம் உணர்ந்து ஒதக்குவடியவன் உலகெல்லாம் உணர்ந்து ஒதக்குவடியவன் இலகுலாதியன் நிர்மதி தேவியன் நிலவோலாவியன் நிம்மதிவேனியன் அழகர் சோதியன் அம்பலத்தில் ஆடுவாய் அழகர் சோதியன் அம்பலத்தில் ஆடுவாய் மலர்ச்சிலம்படி வாழ்த்தி வணங்குவோ மலர்ச்சிலம்படி வாழ்த்தி வணங்குவோ மலர்ச்சிலம்படி வாழ்த்தி வணங்குவோ மலர்ச்சிலம்படி வாழ்த்தி வணங்குவோ. Thank you. We all be seated. மூஷிகவாகன மோதனஸ்த சாமல் கண்ண விளம்பித சுத்ர வாமன ரூப மகேஸ்வர புத்ர விக்ன விநாயக பாத நமஸ்தே. கலினிரே கணபதி சரணம் சரணம் கலினிரே கணபதி சரணம் சரணம் கஜமுக குணபதி சரணம் சரணம் கஜமுக குணபதி சரணம் சரணம் கலினிரே கணபதி சரணம் சரணம் தலைவனே நீனேயடி சரணம் சரணம் தலைவனே நீனேயடி சரணம் சரணம் சரவண பகபுக சரணம் சரணம் சரவண பகபுக சரணம் சரணம் கலிநீர கணபதி சரணம் சரணம் கஜமுக குணபதி சரணம் சரணம் கலிநீர கணபதி சரணம் சரணம் சிறிமலையுடைய சரணம் சரணம் சிறிமலையுடைய சரணம் சரணம் சிவ 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 சரணம் சரணம் புலிவரம் ஒரு வைரே சரணம் சரணம் புலிவரம் ஒரு வைரே சரணம் சரணம் புலிவரம் ஒரு வைரே சரணம் சரணம் உமி சிவாம் விஜே சரணம் சரணம் உமி சிவாம் சரணம் சரணம் கலினிரே கணபதி சரணம் சரணம் கலினிரே கணபதி சரணம் சரணம் கலினிரே கணபதி சரணம் சரணம். मानस भजनी गुरु चरणम दोस्तर भव सागर शरणम गुरु चरणम दोस्तर भव सागर शरणम गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय साईनाथ साई गुरु जी जी सत्य साईनाथ Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Shivaya Namah, Om Namah. Adonai Jai Shiva, Adonai Jai Shiva, Adonai Jai Shiva, Adonai Shiva, Om Adonai Jai Shiva, Adonai Jai Shiva, Adonai Jai Shiva. Om Gairam Baba, Om Gairam Baba, Om Gairam Baba, Om Namo Baba, Om Gairam Baba. Manasa Bajani Guru Charanam, Guru Baba Sai Jai Charanam, Manasa Bajani Guru Maharaj, Guru Ji Ji, Guru Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, Guru Ji Ji, Guru Maharaj. Sai Nath Sai Guru Ji Ji, Sat Sai. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Shivaya Namah, Om Namah. Adonai Jai Shiva, Adonai Jai Shiva, Adonai Jai Shiva, Adonai Shiva, Om Adonai. Om Gairam Baba, Om Gairam Baba, Om Gairam Baba, Om Namo Baba, Om Gairam Gairam Baba, Om Namo Baba, Om Namo Baba, Om Namo Baba. Manasa Bajani Guru Charanam, Dostara Baba Sai Gai Taranam. Vai, 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 Yamai, vai, Vandan Aguli Purandira Devi Amma Vandan Vai Amma Nayani Karumani Kamakshi Nayani Karumani Kamakshi महालक्ष्मी मातंगी मीनाक्षी ये महालक्ष्मी मातंगी वरलक्ष्मी वाराये दिसलक्ष्मी नीये वरलक्ष्मी वाराये दिसलक्ष्मी नीये உலகல்லமாயே பிரசாந்தி தாயே உலகல்லமாயே பிரசாந்தி தாயே அம்மா 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 महालक्ष्मी मातंगी मीनाक्षी ये महालक्ष्मी मातंगी वरलक्ष्मी वाराये दिसलक्ष्मी नीये உலகல்லமாயே பிரசாந்தி தாயே உலகல்லமாயே அம்மா 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 Shiva
today's memorial service, we would now like to offer a special dedication to our late sister. Brahma Mudai Sudai Chitalingam Nirmayavai Shobhitalingam Janmajadukha Vinashanalingam Daivanamai Sadai Shivalingam Devamuni Bhavanai Chitalingam Kamanadana Karunai Katalingam Parvati Pati Hara Hara Mahadeva.
Thank you very much. For this morning's proceedings. Whilst Shirley and those closest to Judy, whilst this morning reopens so many wounds for you guys, you must also remember that you have to have the strength to celebrate Judy's life. And when I look around the room and look at all the people that have impacted on Judy's life, and in some way, I'm sure, she has impacted on your lives, we all start to understand what a great person Judy was. And like I said, family and friends, a few notes were given to me by Shirley. And in trying to sum up the person that she was, one stands out clearly, and I'd like to read this. Her love for poetry started at 4. Mama, and that's referring to J Mama or Mr. J Govender, taught her to recite Shakespeare. He was a second father to her, who was present throughout various milestones in her life. And I think I'll be failing in my duty if I didn't say this. Jay Mama, Mr. Jay Govender, I can't tell you how you may have started a lifetime of learning in Judy's life. And I can't tell you what an impact you made on our lives. And I'm sure you make that impact in your lives or in your kids' lives and your grandkids up to this day. So thank you very much for that. Just a note to you, family and friends, there's a special call for us to try and keep our masks at all times. Try and keep your cell phones on silent and maintain a decent degree of silence through the proceedings. I want to also at this stage, I should have done this at the beginning, but if I could ask you all to please rise and observe a moment's silence in memory of all those that we have lost in the recent past, especially Reggie, who we lost a few days ago. Please bow your heads. Thank you very much. You may be seated. I now call on Pradhani Naidu, who will say a few words on behalf of Judy. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Like Narana said, there's a few people that wanted to share their sentiments today. And I'm going to start by sharing something that Vinaka asked me to read on her behalf. To our dear sister Judy, losing you has left a huge void in our lives. Throughout our childhood, you were the elder sibling that we always looked up to. You always defended us whenever we were caught out by doing something wrong, even when we broke the chandelier in Lily Road. Whenever I would do any prayers at home in Mpinyeni, Akka would be there making preparations and arrangements for everything. Whenever Shannon and I had to go to work during school holidays, you were there to take care of Davian, making his holidays fun and exciting. Akka, you were the free-spirited human being, the life of the party, who feared nobody and nothing. You lived life on your terms and never say die attitude. Even though I am married and had my role as a wife, mother, and homemaker, you always guided and advised me through my life. When I was shot in 2003, laying in the dirt on an open field and fearing the worst, you were the only one that was by my side, comforting me and reassuring me that everything will be fine. Akka, I cannot forget how you sacrificed everything that you had to help me in my recovery. I cannot forget how excited you were when you heard that I was pregnant and eagerly awaiting the arrival of Davian. The endless information you gathered during my pregnancy to help me be knowledgeable. The special holiday periods that you spent with Davian, Akka, I am Davian's biological mother, but you were always his special mommy. He always felt special and pampered by you. I remembered the secret phone calls he made to you whenever I scolded him for something he did wrong. The countless times that you made yourself available to fly Davian from Durban to Joburg during the holiday season. Your memory stays with us all. There were so many dreams and accomplishments that you were yet to achieve, like wanting Davian to celebrate his 13th birthday in Mauritius, something he was looking forward to. I know that you are at peace now, and it feels like you left us all too soon. Dear family and friends, standing here today is probably one of the hardest speeches that I have to deliver in my life because I know there are so many different emotions, deep and intense emotions running through in this room. And the reason for this is because to most of us here, we thought of Judy as invincible, too powerful in every facet of her life. The day that she said goodbye left every single one of us in shock, in disbelief. It was unimaginable because this was Juliaka. She was she was one almost everyone counted off in life. The life of the party, the confident, courageous, self-assured person who could stand in any venue or in front of any audience and speak flamboyantly. And I actually underestimated how senior she was in her career. Yet she had nothing but love and compassion for her job. From very humble beginnings to a position of power takes guts and passion. She did it all on her own. But she also did not forget the people who helped her get there. She was exceptionally close to my father. She always claimed that she was his eldest daughter. They shared a bond like no other, and it was him that introduced her to poetry, a passion they both loved together. I'm now going to read to you a eulogy by my dad to Judy. Judy, my dearest darling child. As I put this pen to paper, I feel my vision blurred because my eyes are all filled with tears. In the recent past, I have been in extreme pain for losing so many of my dear ones. At times, I think that God should have taken me instead of them. I never ever expected to be saying a few words about you. Instead, I thought that you were the one that would speak on behalf of me. All of my life, I regarded you as my child and not my niece. I feel it extremely painful in my heart to note that you are no more with us. My child, I must admit that you was an absolute heroine, not only to me, but to the world. I am sure that the impact you had on others was much bigger than you thought. Some may still be enjoying Some may still be enjoying the funny things that you said. Some may still be smiling for the compliments that you gave them. Some are silently admiring you. The advice that you gave them made a difference to a lot of people. The love and support you gave made someone's day. Your input, your opinions have made people think twice. Your existence made a positive difference to humanity. With all of this said about you, you'll never be forgotten. And it is simply cannot be as long as I am living in my heart that I will carry you. Your heart will always shine. I know no matter what your future brings or whatever may lie ahead, I know that you will walk with me along the path I tread. So rest, my angel, be at peace. Let your soul fly free. One day I shall join you on that glorious flight. For all eternity, I could now feel the tears roll down my cheeks. So, my dear, please, as the good Lord, to prepare a place for me next to you, where one day we shall meet again. She appreciated what my father had done for her and respected that till the day she died. And as if knowing that in a few hours she was going to take her last breath, she asked to speak to various people the night before, and she even sang happy birthday to my niece Nikaira. For me personally, Akka had lived beyond. Sorry. For me personally, if Akka had lived beyond the therapy at hospital, it would have been a lot of compromises made. And that was not the person that she was. The fact that she had been bungee jumping the weekend before tells you how fearless she was with no limitations. And again, that was not her first rodeo. She had done this previously with neither. She had equal love for everything that she did. Shalika even mentioned when doing the invite for the ceremony, she had difficulty in finding a photo where Akka was not laughing and with food in front of her. Her job was equally important to her, her adventures, her family, her friends, but most of all, it was her family. She tried to unite people, and if today you are sitting here with any animosity, resolve it. Because Julia's death also taught us, as family, that life is short and unpredictable. This is definitely a moment to say that we are all here to celebrate a life lived, because that's what Julia did. She thrived. And in life, it's not enough to just live. You have to thrive. And as the saying goes, live, love, and happiness. And if you think of all three at the time of her death, these three words are all apt to her life. And I'm going to end, only befitting, by a poem written from my father to Judy. I thought of you with love today, but that is nothing new. I thought about you yesterday and days before that. I think of you in silence and I cry. I often speak your name. I always have you in my memories and your picture in a frame. Your memory is my keepsake, with which I'll never part. God has you in his keeping, but I have you in my heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Pradhani. Thank you for those profound words. Yes, a life gone too soon. And yes, she was a pillar of strength to everybody. I now call on Rishaya, who will deliver the second message.
Good afternoon. Most of you may know me. Good afternoon. Most of you may know me, but if not, I'm Rashaya Naidu, Annie and Alicia's daughter. I have been asked by Shirley Mom to speak on behalf of her, who would like to share her thoughts and her love for Judy Mom. Shirley Mom, I hope I can do justice to express your feelings today. Before I begin, I want to say thank you to every person here today to remember and celebrate Judy Mom, as I believe she would feel so blessed with your presence here today. Every person who has ever met Akka has their own memories of the woman that she was, whether you crossed her path as a pupil at school or grew up listening to her sound guidance. Each and every person that knew her was a student of hers in some way. Aside from her formal qualifications as a teacher, she embodied the role of one from the moment she received her younger siblings and cousins. That's how I remember her, teaching me constantly, guiding me, comforting me, and always sharing with me, with all of us. Akka followed the path of the perfect daughter-in-law, and the perfect elder sister. She made her family proud through her career choice and then her unparalleled dedication to that choice. It was never about showing up every day and fulfilling the job that she chose, but it was about her commitment to her learners. That was why she continued to show up with an energy that people 20 years her junior could hardly keep up with. Akka showed a passion for English literature that none of us could relate to growing up. She was buried in books when we wanted to play. Eugen tells us stories about how we've been sent to the beach with her to look after us, and instead of recklessly playing the games that children do, Akka read her books and then taught us how to swim, not haphazardly like you might expect. She had a method to her teaching, and we followed her instruction in awe. That's how it always was. We knew intuitively that whatever Akka told us or taught us, she was doing it for some greater reason that we couldn't ourselves see, but one that we trusted implicitly. Because Akka only ever did things for someone's highest good. That was her unspoken promise. Right until the very end, that commitment she held for the betterment of those around her made her choose her job based on the possibility that she could help the collective. She believed fully that there was a possibility of a complete shift in the system, no matter how pessimistic the conversations were around her. If there was an inkling of hope, Akka would find it and she would hold on to it. She was the first of us to get married and embraced the role of wife and daughter in law. She was adored by her new family, and for a good reason, too. Akka didn't differentiate between her birth family and anyone else who held her as family. She was the quickest cook, she was the best hostess, and she was generous and relentless with her love and support. Akka was amongst the first feminists that I knew, and she was fierce about women taking up space in their own lives, something that she committed to later, through action later on in her own life. I knew the courage that it took for Akka to choose a life path, and I know the heartache that she had to work through. I would be remiss if I didn't mention how much the spiritual world opened up to her during this time in her life. Akka built a powerful relationship with Mariama during her time living alone, and that relationship continued to carry her spirit as she made even more courageous choices later on in her life. Throughout her time of transition, she never neglected to look after the Amas, her chosen children, and each of us. She remained her responsible self, but with a lot more openness to rediscover the parts of herself that she had lost along the way. She was a force of nature, and it was thrilling to watch her bloom. When she moved to Johannesburg, I felt like the city became home somehow. Her presence was home. Even in moving here, she adapted to everything so quickly, with so little complaint and such remarkable independence. Aka's energy was fast, and mine is slower, so what she did in a few hours took me longer. Not as long as it would take Vino Akka, though. It made us butt heads when it came down to planning things, but I like to believe that we became a team with common goals. Akka helped me look after the Amas no matter what. She may have had other commitments, but she never placed her family anything but first. If you give me a couch and some tea and the rest of the day, I could fill it with the memories and the admiration that I have for my Akka. I could list all the things that she has taught me, or the ways in which she has inspired me, but the day wouldn't be long enough for the mark she's made on this world and in the lives of many, many people that have loved her. I miss her terribly. Her family misses her terribly. And while there will always be an Akka shaped hole in our hearts, the love that she gave us will carry us beyond the day we take our last breaths. Akka, we love you, always and forever.
Thank you, Rishaya. I don't think anybody could have done a better job than that. Surely you could not have done a better job embodying the life of Judy. Well done to you and to Pradhani. I now hand you over to Vincent and his group once again.
We now move forward to the second half. Call upon the immediate family first to offer their Divartanam. Thereafter, family and friends can follow to offer and pay respects. Uyanam ni தீபமரம் உன் வாசலம்மா மரி என் தாயே அம்மா மண்ணாயம் உந்தன் திருடியம்மா எங்கள் கண்ணீர் துடுக்கு நீ வருவாயம்மா மண்ணாயம் உந்தன் திருடியம்மா எங்கள் கண்ணீர் துடுக்கு நீ வருவாயம்மா அம்மா தாயே கருமாரி ஆழ்தர வேண்ட மகமாயி ஆயிரம் கண் கொண்ட தாயே அம்மா அகிலாதையார் வகுனி அம்மா ஆயிரம் கண் கொண்ட தாயே அம்மா அகிலாதையார் வகுனி அம்மா வீட்டுக்கு துணி வருவாய் தாயே வீட்டுக்கு துணி வருவாய் தாயே எங்கள் கண்ணீரை துடுக்கு நீ வருவாய் அம்மா அம்மா தாயே கருமாரி ஆறுதர வேண்ட மகமாரி அம்மா தாயே கருமாரி ஆறுதர வேண்ட மகமாரி அருதர வேண்ட மகமாரி ஆயுதர வேண்ட மகமாரி
அம்மா நீ எங்கள் அன்பான தெய்வம் அருமே எங்கள் அம்மாவே அழகே எங்கள் அம்மாவே அம்மா நீ எங்கள் அன்பான தெய்வம் அருமே எங்கள் அம்மாவே அழகே எங்கள் அம்மாவே
அம்மா நீ எங்கள் அன்பான தெய்வம் அருமே எங்கள் அம்மாவே அழகே எங்கள் அம்மாவே
அருளி எங்கள் அம்மாவே நன்றி உனக்கு நன்றி அம்மா நன்றி உனக்கு நன்றி அம்மா நீ எங்கள் அன்பான தெய்வம் அருளி எங்கள் அம்மாவே அழகே எங்கள் அம்மாவே அம்மா நீ எங்கள் அன்பான தெய்வம் அருளி எங்கள் அம்மாவே அழகே எங்கள் அம்மாவே அழகே எங்கள் அம்மாவே அழகே எங்கள் அம்மாவே.
வாசமழகேலாம் ஆய்நாய் நீயே வாசமழகேலாம் ஆய்நாய் நீயே மலையாய் மருகின்றாய் நின்றாய் நீயே மலையாய் மருகின்றாய் நின்றாய் நீயே மலையாய் மருகின்றாய் நின்றாய் நீயே ஓசை ஒளியெல்லாம் ஆனாய் நீயே ஓசை ஒளியெல்லாம் ஆனாய் நீயே ஓசை ஒளியெல்லாம் ஆனாய் நீயே உலகத்தில் ஒழும் வென்றாய் நின்றாய் நீயே உலகத்தில் ஒழும் வென்றாய் நின்றாய் நீயே வாசமழகேலாம் ஆனாய் நீயே வாசமழகேலாம் ஆனாய் நீயே வாசமழகேலாம் ஆனாய் நீயே மலையாய் மருகின்றாய் நின்றாய் நீயே பேச பிரிதயம் இனியாய் நீயே பேச பிரிதயம் இனியாய் நீயே இளநியாய் தீயம்மல் வைத்தாய் நீயே இளநியாய் தீயம்மல் வைத்தாய் நீயே தாசவேலெல்லாம் ஆனாய் நீயே தாசவேலெல்லாம் ஆனாய் நீயே தாசவேலெல்லாம் ஆனாய் நீயே திருவது அகலத செம்போ சோதி 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 சூலதாயினி பரமேஷா சிவகாமி நாயக ஜெகதீஷா दुखिय बायदमा दुखिय बायदमा अमरकनेजा दांडवन राजा
சிவகாமி மகேஸ்வரனே மங்கள பெருமானே
சிவபெருமானே சிவபெருமானே எல்லோர்க்கும் நீ தெய்வம் சிவபெருமானே
சிவபெருமானே சிவபெருமானே எல்லோர்க்கும் நீ தேவன் சிவபெருமானே
ஆய்நீ தனி குரு தேவனே
ஆய்நீ தனி குரு தேவனே
ஆய்ந்தவனே நீ அருள் செய்வாயே ஆய்ந்தவனே நீ அருள் செய்வாயே சிவபெருமானே சிவபெருமானே எல்லோர்க்கும் நீ தேவன் சிவபெருமானே
சிவபெருமானே சிவபெருமானே எல்லோர்க்கும் நீ தேவன் சிவபெருமானே
நம சிவாய ஓம் நீ தேவனே 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 காதருளாய் நீ அருள் செய்வாயே காதருளாய் நீ அருள் செய்வாயே சிவபெருமானே சிவபெருமானே எல்லோர்க்கும் நீ தேவன் சிவபெருமானே नंद कुमारा नवनीत चोरा तामरे कन्नाय श्री हरे नंद कुमारा नवनीत चोरा तामरे कन्नाय श्री हरे श्यामल कोमल कृष्ण मुरारी मोहन मुरली धारी नंद कुमारा नवनीत चोरा तामरे कन्नाय श्री हरे अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम् अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम् रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभं रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभं कोने कीर्ति है भगवान आती नहीं कोने कीर्ति है भगवान आती नहीं मेरे शबरी की जैसे भुला के नहीं मेरे शबरी की जैसे भुला के नहीं अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम् अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम् रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभं रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम् श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा बराजित चोरा वृंदावन संचारा गोपाल गोपाल मुरली गोपाल बराजित चोरा वृंदावन संचारा गोपाल गोपाल मुरली गोपाल 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 मुरली गोपाल 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 मुरली गोपाल नंद कुमारा नवनीत चोरा तामरे कन्नाय श्री हरे Vanakkam, ladies and gentlemen. A humble appeal, if we can please remain silent till the end of today's service. If we can just give it the dignity that it does deserve. We're almost at the end. Gange anindava gando turam vilasa sadangi aidam baida vinoda lingeshwara nindal tune nidan dilli ambal nagaraja siluminadani paramesha dilli ambal nagaraja siluminadani paramesha ayalti tandava baba abhitandava ayalti tandava baba
Family and friends, we've come to the tail end of this morning's proceedings. I want to thank you very much for your patience and gracing this morning's function. There's just a few things we've got to go through before we get to the vote of thanks. I don't think there's enough that Shirley can do to highlight the life of Judy. And I think I'll be failing her if I didn't go through a few notes that she has given me. So please, may I beg your indulgence. This is a quote that Shirley says that will sum up the life of Judy. She was a teacher and a scholar of life and all things that helped her elevate spiritually. Family came first. Nothing was more important. Malyama was not her only mum. She loved, treated and respected all the Mas alike. She was always close to them from the time she was little. She got involved in everything they did, from cleaning that is at the temple, to gardening and cooking. She was never too busy to take them for medical checks or just sit around the table and chat while cleaning veggies. Akka was an agile thinker from a younger age. Creative responses like, "I'm not allowed to take roti for lunch," made Tata drive from Tugela to buy bread. Harry Appa, that's a dad, used to give us spending money. We used to buy toys and treats. Judy Akka used to buy books. This we know about Judy. She would read a book a day. In primary school, Malyama was called to school because Akka chose to read a book instead of paying attention to a lesson. Akka was a lover of food from a young age. In fact, we teased her about eating anything that moves. A rumor has it that she bit into a millipede, which was recently confirmed by Devyama. Akka loved to dance. If there was a beat, she would dance to it. She loved dancing in the rain. She even jumped into a pool a few times while it rained. She was a planner. Making lists and ticking things off was a must. Day to day and a bucket list, swimming under the waterfall, was ticked off at her last Mauritius trip. In fact, she was hoping to move there at some point. I know she spoke to me about moving to Mauritius. She made time for everybody and everybody who needed her. She loved road trips, short and long trips. She was never tired to drive to any destination, either for herself or to help others. Outdoor and a nature lover, long walks, hikes, Harley-Davidson bike rallies. If it was fun and adventurous, she tried it. She was a feeder, lived alone, but had no concept of cooking for one. She cooked enough to literally feed others and would pack lunch for those waiting at the traffic lights. She would share meals with anyone at any time. She loved wearing heels and recently became a chronic shopper. International travel bug got her after Abu Dhabi, India and Mauritius. She was planning to go to New Zealand and then to Bali for an eat, pray and love experience. Akka made friends easily and maintained friendships that lasted decades. Her colleagues were more than family to her, and they kept in touch every day. And that was in hospital and even after her passing. They held a beautiful memorial service for her and still feel her absence in the office and their lives. She was never too busy to help NAPTOSA members. She took calls on weekends and always offered sound advice and fought for those she believed that was fair and just.
Gershwin was Akka's first child. She often said, you don't have to give birth to a child to be a mother. She loved Gershwin more than any other child. She was so proud of him and his achievements and looked forward to getting married and making her a grandmother of 8. Visiting him in US was also on a bucket list. Tabian was second. They talked often and she spent most of her holidays spoiling him with different experiences and ensuring her absence was felt, especially after moving to Johannesburg. Skylar and Scarlett also won her heart, and the expansion of the Nair name made Akka very happy. She was proud of her Nair name and was learning about Malayalam culture and language. Akka never missed an important prayer, be it at the temple in Johannesburg or at Vino's house. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think that sums up her life better than those few words. I now call on Jenny, who will move the vote of thanks.
Vanakkam, family and friends. My task today is a simple one, and it's just to move the vote of thanks. But in doing so, I think it is very important for us to note the significance of this annual death ceremony, especially in our culture. Today's gathering of friends and family is not just a thanksgiving or a memorial, but it is a second part of a very important and significant ritual known as Tithi, that must be undertaken as part of the last rites of a year-long process of assisting Judy's soul to ascend to heaven. It is the culmination of prayers that were undertaken on the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th and 9th month of Judy's passing. For those of us that are believers, the failure to carry out these prayers properly will result in the soul of our loved ones not being accepted in heaven, and will further be neglected in heaven. And even worse, the souls of our ancestors will be sent to hell or eternal punishment. Such, they say, is the bondage on the living descendants to conduct the annual Tithi or the death ceremony. The ritual that was conducted or concluded at 5 a.m. this morning was the final release of Judy's soul by her family. Many of us know, and as we have heard from the speakers today, Judy was a very spiritual person. She was culturally conscious, always in her sari and making us look bad at prayers, and was even part of a sangam, I think, at one stage. I truly believe that she would be very grateful to all those who have ensured that the required rituals have been observed to enable her soul to reach its destination, ensuring that her spiritual journey was completed. Similarly, there were many over the last year that have ensured that her final aspects of her physical life's journey was attended to and finalized here. To this end, there are numerous people to thank. Firstly, I would like to say thank you to Devi and Dolima, not only for what they've done in the last year, but also for being the extra mother, not only to Judy and her siblings, but to all of us. But from the time we were little, Devi Amma and Dolima, all the Ammas, but specifically the two of you, have always been there for us. But more importantly, in the last year, you two have ensured and you have religiously undertaken the monthly prayers under very difficult circumstances. Apart from COVID, with the little means in terms of transport and getting the prayers organized and concluded, you ensured that it was all done. Without you guys, Ma, this prayer and all the other prayers in Judy's journey would never have been completed. To all of the family members and friends that have supported the Ammas through the last year, especially Jay Mama, Ambate, Malini, Rajanana, Mayama, for participating and always making the time and effort to support the Ammas and make sure that they were able to do whatever they felt was necessary to do. A special thank you to Malini and Rajanana, who were even present this morning at 5 o'clock in the final prayer, despite another heartbreaking loss of our brother Reggie. We would also like to thank Galen, Tumi, Chantel, Leah, and the rest of the Naptosa, Gauteng and KZN members, Rachel and Judy's UDW friends, Nandi and family, Sarisha, Fern, Selvi and Ravi for the hospital visits and the words of encouragement. To all those who sent video calls, voice notes, messages of love and support and prayers, a very big thank you. To the guru, the caterers, the bhajan group that is here today, a very big thank you for making today possible. Family and friends that have taken the time and to be here and to share this very auspicious day with us. Last but not least, I would like to take a moment to sincerely thank and acknowledge Shirley. Shirley, we would like to say thank you for all that you have done. From the day that Judy made that very first call to you, saying that she wasn't well, you responded immediately. You responded when she needed you most. You made certain that you were there within minutes, and you got her to the hospital and ensured that she was stabilized and received the best care she could possibly receive. You made sure that you visited every day, even though many people were not allowed to visit. And you kept up the conversations with her and encouragement through her stroke, such that her recovery was remarkable. You also made sure that the rest of us were kept in the loop with what was going on with her circumstances. And you made certain, just a few days before she passed, that the Ammas and the rest of us could chat to her through video chats. In that way, you enabled us all to have some form of closure, and we are for that eternally grateful. Thereafter, when she passed, you were the first person to be called, and you ensured that her body came back home. And that all of her final rites were performed, and that the Ammas had the means and all the stuff that they needed to ensure that her prayers were complete. And you arranged this final ceremony. All of this you did despite your schedule and despite grieving the loss of Amma. It is a heavy cross to bear, and for someone so young, and as Big Amma said this morning, Judy, Malyamma, and your Amma will be proud and grateful for your strength, your unselfishness, your time, your dedication and commitment to Judy, Akka as you say, your calm and your courage to have seen all of this through. Finally, I'd just like to say a thank you to Judy. Judy's life has been a blessing to those that she has touched. She will never be forgotten. Here's to a life spent bringing joy and laughter to others. A life well lived finds rest and rewards in the afterlife. Judy, your short life was indeed well lived and a great example to all of us. Your spontaneity, your level of responsibility, and your commitment to family and friends will always be an example and a teaching to all of us. With that, I'd like to say a very big thank you once again to all of you for being here and seeing Judy off on her final ascent. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny, for those deep and profound words. I hand you over to Vincent, and thereafter we'll adjourn for lunch.
May we all rise for the concluding prayer, please.
सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु.
Can we all put our palms together, please?
Om Galaal Priyam Garudaal Priyam Kasundurge Nellaal Priyam Niniyai Priyam Nenendurte Sollal Priyam Turiyai Priyam Tora Priyam Yella Priyam Porutharvai Kachyengamani Tinnaruni Sivani Potri Ennattuvarkum Irevai Potri. Om Namah Shivaya Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya Namaha. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Om Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmai Pranam Brahmavir Brahmagno Brahmanavutam Brahme Vadena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhinaha. Aham Vaishvanaru Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritaha Pranapana Samayukta Pachamyanam Chaturvidam. Om Asato Ma Sakamaya Tamaso Ma Jyoti Kamaya Mrityurma Amritam Kamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you. May kindly be seated.